it really just highlights all of the wonderful things that drivers are doing every single day. And I love the idea that it's about catching someone doing the right thing, right? There's plenty of negative press everywhere you look, but when we highlight the good things that people are doing to just be good humans, I think that is extremely admirable. Hello, and welcome to Carrier Code, your inside track to the strategies, stories, and leaders driving the trucking industry forward. Today's episode is sponsored by Drivers Legal Plan, CDL Ticket Defense for Professional Drivers, and produced by Bulldog, Trucking's podcast pros. I'm Christy Choice, here with my co-host, Rocco Marari. Hey, Rocco, what's up?
Hey, Christy, how are you?
Oh, I am well, and I am excited. We're having a really, really great conversation today, and I'm just ready to just jump on in.
I know, I'm excited too, but there's a but.
There's a but.
There is. Have to tell our listeners something that's exciting to me. I mean, it's really not exciting, but if you guys recall, if everybody recalls, I think it was the last episode, I was talking about how once a year ago when you lose your luggage. Just happens, part of traveling. Well, guess what happened yesterday and this morning?
What?
My luggage is somewhere between Moline and Chicago. It's gone back and forth a couple times already. Apparently it's going to be delivered, but we're just trying to track it down.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
Nice thing is, United, thank you again. If it doesn't show up, I get to go shopping. So
Woo-hoo!
We'll see. But yeah, so like I said, when it happens, can't get wound up about it. You just know, it'll show up or not, but it is what it is at that point.
The way of the traveler. Well, I'm wondering if, because you got it out of the way early, will 2026, the rest of it be a breeze?
Oh, it has to be. Only uphill from here.
My goodness. Oh my gosh.
It can be great.
Yeah. Now, I need to find some real wood to knock on because I'm just about to get my travel underway. And so I'm hoping that I don't have lost luggage anytime in the first quarter. Let's just try to escape that for me.
Christy, I just hope you got your AirTag ready to go this time.
Yeah.
Today's episode's great, and we're talking again about associations, but there's a reason for this. It is such an important part of our industry, and it's a driving force that, we feel that we want our listeners to know the ins and outs of the organizations and really, what they're about and what they represent and how they can represent the carriers. Christy, what are your thoughts on this? I know we drive this home a lot, but there's reasons for it.
Well, today's guest and the association that we'll be talking about is really special to me because even before I had my current role where I am expected to do lots of travel, the Truckload Carriers Association, TCA, was one of the first shows I started going to when I was an account manager at 10th Street. And so I remember the nervousness of feeling like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen, kind of anticipating the sessions and the people and all of, the little butterflies you get when you do something for the first time. And now when I show up at a TCA conference, I feel like, hey, welcome home, right? It's one of those very, very special associations to me for that personal reason. But on top of that, there are so many benefits, just like you said, Rocco, to not just being a member, but really kind of just participating in all of the wonderful things that these associations have to offer. So I'm really excited for us today to be able to talk to TCA, more specifically, Jim Ward.
Yeah, everybody, I am so excited for this. As Christy said, our guest today is Jim Ward, and Jim knows the importance of all these organizations, not just TCA. Jim is the former chairman and now president of the TCA. He's also spent countless years as president and CEO of DM Bowman. I think he was there for over 2 decades, so 20 plus years. Former recipient of the Maryland Motor Truck Association Person of the Year, but also he's lived the life of the vendor as well. So Jim brings that perspective that not a lot of people have. He has the vendor side, the carrier side, and now the association side. So we're going to bring that all to you today. So we're excited to share this.
Yes, we recently spoke with Jim Ward about what's going on at TCA. Welcome to the show, Jim. It's so great to have you on. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Christy. Thank you very much for having me. And Seems like I just ran into you over at the Reeves dinner on Friday night. So great seeing you again.
I know. It's always a pleasure to bump into you at all these different industry events. And so, I guess for starters, for those who don't know you, I mean, I don't know how one couldn't, but if they're new to the industry, they might not have met you yet. So, Jim Ward, explain who you are and tell us all about TCA.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And it's certainly a pleasure to be with you. As you said, I'm Jim Ward, president of Truckload Carriers Association. We're located here at 555 East Braddock Road in Alexandria, Virginia. That's our headquarters. And we represent the truckload segment of the industry. Been around since 1938 and currently have a lot of programs, a lot of awards, and a lot of events that I'm looking forward to speaking with you about today.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Programs, events, awards. I have been attending the TCA annual conference and the safety conferences for quite a few years now, and it's really been wonderful to see how TCA has expanded and grown. I know the annual conference is right around the corner, so tell us a little bit about what we can look forward to this year.
So we remain quarter of values, Christy. And so one of the several of the things that we'll be highlighting this year at our annual meeting, which is going to be in the Gaylord Resort in Kissimmee, Florida, February 28th to March 3rd. Hopefully we'll see everybody there. But our 5 core values are improve the driving job, increase carrier profitability, improve financial stability, which is the profitability, improve roadway safety, which is key and critical to all of our members, continue to work on sustainability, industry, environmental stewardship, and issues around that. And then ultimately, and probably significantly, that's important to all of our members, is improve the industry's image. So we're going to have a lot of general sessions. We'll have some great speakers, a number of workshops, roundtables, where individuals can come into the annual meeting and gather knowledge and information about what's going on in the industry. It's been 3.5 very difficult years for our motor carrier members. And they've continued to fight through a number of challenges. It's, things don't seem to be getting much better as we're on this call here today and going into 2026. But the fact of the matter is that we're encouraged that, it won't be as long as it's been and things will start to get better. And it's a great opportunity for everybody to get together and talk about some of the things that they're doing to try to help them continue to improve and sustain their business as they move forward in 2026.
Ooh, I love it. And I love that you talked about the 5 pillars as well. Now, Rocco with Pedigree Technologies is my co-host here. And so Rocco and I have been going to TCA events for quite some time. Rocco, what is your favorite part of the TCA annual conference? I'll share mine after you share yours.
Man, there's so many great opportunities at the annual. But the one thing I really do enjoy about the annual is it allows everybody to come together as one and start bouncing ideas off each other and talk about what's working, what's not working. Where can we bring the industry to? What new exciting opportunities are rolling out there? And the one big thing, TCA, you just rolled out the Young Leaders Program. So it's things like that I really look forward to when annual comes up. And then we always talk about TCA safety and reefer and everything, all those other wonderful events that TCA puts on, and it really allows us to grow and shine as an industry.
I'm glad you mentioned the Elevate program. So Jim, shine a light on what the Elevate program is, and then we'll kind of bounce back around to one of my favorite parts of the TCA annual conference.
Yeah, matter of fact, we're going through the vetting process right now for the next class of our young trucking executives, or Elevate program as we call it. And, we bring in a blend of young trucking executives up in rising stars and organizations coming from both the motor carrier industry as well as from the supplier and vendor side of the business as well. We think it's good to have a good mix in the group. And we give them a project they work on. We take them through a number of different educational sessions with different levels of leadership and management, and just to try to give them that exposure to what others in the industry that are at a C-suite level are certainly thinking and see as things continue to move forward in the industry. Another thing that we hear from them, and it really ties into the annual meeting as well, is the networking opportunity that they have in their little cohort. The number of, they build a really good close friendship from those individuals that they're going through the program with, which I think is really important. I always said over the years that I was in the business, I was never probably the sharpest tool in the drawer, But at that time, I had a quality Rolodex. Today, it's a contact list in your computer. But I always knew who to pick up the phone and call and be able to ask questions of as to who may have experienced some of the same challenges that I'm going through. And again, not breaking any antitrust guidelines or regulations, but it was always good to be able to have a good sounding board from somebody else in the industry. So I think a really key part of the Elevate program is them getting to know each other and have somebody in the industry to be able to lean on and pick up the phone and call. And then, like I said, it ties into our annual meeting. As I used to send people to our annual meeting, I would say, look, here's what's really important to me and what I've learned over the years. Whenever I come back from these meetings, I always ask myself, who did I meet? What did I learn? And how did I feel when I departed there? And if I could check the box in all three of those areas, it was probably a pretty successful meeting.
Oh, I love that. I love it. And you know what? You've said those words before. Who did I meet? What did I learn? And those types of questions absolutely resonate with me, because one of my favorite parts of the annual meeting is it's not just the TCA Highway Angels, but the TCA Professional Drivers of the Year. I unapologetically just sit at the table and weep, right? Because hearing the stories of these professional drivers is wonderful. And as a matter of fact, TCA is the first conference that I attended where I learned the term, or I started using the term professional drivers, right? They're not just drivers, they're professional drivers. They care about their profession, their careers, they've chosen it, and they are so incredibly proud to be driving. And so, like, tell us a little bit about that, because again, one of the 5 pillars is elevating the image of truck drivers. So let's talk about that next.
Yeah, Christy, that's a great point. And, that has really transformed our last night of the show. We have gone from like 400 or 500 attendees staying for the last night, the last dinner, and the event that we might be holding and the awards that we're offering, to now. Last year, we were close to 800 attending the last night event. This year, it's going to be Sugar Ray. So if you like entertainment, well, his band or group's going to close out the night for us.
Hey,
But the professional driver of the year is really the highlight of that evening, to your point. And if you just think back just a few short years ago, before the TCA executive leadership team really got involved with the Professional Driver of the Year program, we would have 3 individuals come up on the stage. We would select one winner, give them a $10,000 or $15,000 check. They would walk off the winner and be recognized. And we had second and third place that basically departed with a stipend or a little bit of nothing. And so about 3 years ago, the executive committee got involved and said, look, we really need to make this a big deal, because, what's in front of that truck is more important than what's in the back of that truck. And I'm not taking anything away from the shipping community, but by golly, we want to recognize those individuals to the best of our ability. And at that time, we decided that we were going to go out, solicit the sponsorship for the night, which is basically sponsored by Cummins and Love. They split it, and we give 5 individuals, which all 5 are winners. So if you make it, you're a winner, and we recognize them with a $20,000 check each. And I tell you, and when you listen to their stories, I'm like, if that doesn't pull at your heartstrings, nothing will.
Jim, and that's something special about TCA, and the organization's always looking out, as you said, for the drivers. And the first show I ever went to in trucking out 12 years ago, 13, was TCA Safety. So I have a special place in my heart for TCA. What are some of the things that TCA is looking to maybe expand upon or bring to the industry? As you stated earlier, we've been in kind of an influx here recently, and we're looking at ways to get out of that. Where's the TCA see them in that, in that organization, and how they're really helping drive everything forward?
Well, Rocco and Christy, you've heard me say this from the stage. I haven't been very successful with it in my 4-year tenure here as the president of TCA, but hopefully it sticks somewhere along the way. And I like, we call them professional drivers of the year, I call them commercial vehicle operators, because when they go get their commercial driver's license, that's what they're called. And then there's nothing wrong with calling them a trucker. So please don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But I truly believe that we ought to continue to elevate their role and their responsibility in what they do in service in this great nation every single day, and delivering our goods on time, damage free. Calling on commercial vehicle operators, to me, is certainly an elevation. And so I like to say that. And that's why it just gives me chills when we call them the professional drivers of the year, because they really are. They're the ones that make this world turn. Like I said, under COVID, I never realized that bread, milk, and toilet paper were staples to keep the world turning. but the fact of the matter is it was. And to see people
Absolutely.
standing on bridges and celebrating that truck showing up, I said, boy, it would really be nice if that's something that we could keep going day in and day out and continue to recognize these men and women who are out here sacrificing times away from their family every single day, dealing with the challenges and congestions of the road, but making sure that we have what we need when we need it in a very timely manner. So, it's great recognition for them, Rocco. And I continue to see that growing and elevating. I really do. As time moves on, I see these individuals becoming, more recognized in our country for what they do and how they do it and how they keep the supply chain moving every single day.
And that's, and that information there and the way you support the drivers is something I wish the entire industry would really get behind. Now, the organizations like TCA and others, they get behind that, but we need to make sure the general public and others start seeing what you just explained to us, that they're professional drivers, they're operators, what they're putting their lives at risk for all of us. And that's something that we saw that at COVID, but it seems like now it's starting to drift away back how it used to be. So we need to bring that back and get that excitement again. So just the general public knows that these drivers are here for you. They're doing everything that they do to make sure that you're able to have food on your table, bedding, whatever it may be. So we need to make sure we get the excitement going again.
I totally agree. I've always said, their sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, and their loved ones are at home while they're out there on our nation's highways doing what they do every single day. And it's so important to all of us. And it's really great to be able to recognize It's unfortunate we only recognize 5. I think it's like we have every year in September, we have the driver recognition week. And I've said, well, every week ought to be driver recognition week for what they do for us around the country. And we certainly do appreciate them. So I appreciate you recognizing that. And, we've also added, last year was the first recognition of the Elite Fleets, which is a program that we have now started inside of the Truckload Carriers Association to recognize those fleets that, we go out to the professional driving employees and survey the driving employees while the company fills out an application. And really, it's a certification based upon key statistics within that organization in regards to how do they engage their professional driver, what is the age of their equipment, things along those lines. What are their safety ratings? We look at a number of important, really key factors to operating a trucking company. But also we go out and then we interview professional drivers. Last year, we interviewed over 10,000. I can tell you as of end of the day on Friday, which we engage with the University of Denver Supply Chain Management Institute. They're the ones that comes in and basically does the work behind the scenes in our Elite Fleet certification program. They had interviewed over 12,000 professional drivers by the close of the day last Friday. And we use that information from those fleets, from those professional drivers, really to go back and validate what the company's telling us they're doing from an engagement perspective and all, and creating driver satisfaction within their organizations. So it's really pretty special. And it's a great program. We have probably about, 15 or 20% more fleets, companies that have engaged us this year by completing the application than we even had last year, and they'll all be recognized at our annual meeting.
Wow. And Jim, I want to give you a second to brag on TCA. So now I know a lot of people know about annual, but can you touch on, the other events you have, reefer and safety and really bring those to light, because those hold tremendous value. And annual is the Super Bowl, but let's talk a little bit about the others.
Yeah, our safety and security meeting this year coming up in 2026 is going to be June 7th to the 10th in Oklahoma City. And I would just tell any owner or safety and risk management professional that's listening to this, that if you have the opportunity, that is a meeting where you really learn. I mean, you really learn about those things that we're engaged in every single day, even operating people. I always highly suggest to owners and C-suite individuals that I speak to in these motor carrier companies, have your operating people attend a safety and security meeting too. Last year, we had over 300 attendees. It continues to grow. And I can tell you that the feedback and the surveys that we do is always exceptional. And so, again, networking, but educational information. Scott Cornell from Travelers last year and the Aon folks that we had come in talking about safety and risk management practices associated with cargo. I mean, cargo theft in this country is crazy. I mean, it is out of control. So being able to speak to individuals like that who are out here dealing with it every single day that can give you a little checklist of things that you should be paying attention to from an operational perspective whenever you're picking up a load or dispatching a load or speaking to your driver about the load. Them little nuggets, are significant to the bottom line of your company whenever you go back to your organization. And there's rarely that I speak to a safety or risk management professional that they don't leave there with a page full of notes of things that they're going to go back to their company and check out to make sure how they're doing it, what they're doing it, are they paying attention to it or not. So great point, Rocco. That's a great meeting. And then refrigerated. It'd be remiss of me not to mention our refrigerated meeting. Our refrigerated meeting this year is going to be July 22nd to 24th in Nashville, Tennessee. And, we're the only association outside of food shippers, which is for the shippers, that really involves and brings together the refrigerated temperature controlled business every single year in a particular area just to talk about, what's going on in their industry. We always say it's refrigerated carriers talking about refrigerated issues affecting the refrigerated business. So it's made by them. It's one of our divisions. We have a refrigerated group of officers, and those officers get together and basically put together the agenda for that meeting, which is extremely well attended and continues to grow. So again, if you're in that refrigerated business, that's the place to be in July.
It is. I mean, any carrier who's a reefer carrier, you need to look at this event. I've been going for years. It is fantastic. And Jim, as you were stating, it is tied to the reefer division. I mean, that's what you talk about. So that's where they learn, where they bounce ideas off each other. And it is so tightly geared to them. It is just unbelievable to witness and just be part of.
Yeah, and also about 13% of our membership now is Canadian members. We've also this past year picked up our first Mexican carrier. So we're an international association. So also every year in mid-November, we hold a meeting in Canada. It's called Bridging Barrier Borders. Our North American Transportation Management Institute that offers a certification program for the certified director of safety, certified safety supervisor, certified technician for maintenance or driver trainer that we do here in the U.S. We have now converted that training and education over to the Canadian regulations, and we'll be offering 12 training sessions up in Canada this year as our Canadian membership continues to grow. And so that's a great opportunity. And then, you talk about education. There's no greater opportunity than educate those individuals that's over on the Hill every single day making decisions about our business. So we have our call on Washington September 8th to 11th this year, 2026. And please come join us. We normally have over 100 of our members that show up, and we provide an educational session for them, getting them prepared to be able to go over and talk to the representatives on the Hill and help us go over and educate them. Believe me, it's a wonderful experience.
Wonderful. Well, okay, Jim. So we've talked about the Elite Fleet program, the Professional Drivers of the Year, the different events that are coming up for TCA in 2026, and the Elevate program. But in 2025, you announced some pretty big news of your own. You're going to be retiring. So you have a short while left with us as president of TCA, but tell us what you're looking forward to in retirement and what some of your wishes are for TCA as they continue to move forward.
Well, you're right, Christy. I get a shot at this a second time. My first time, I did not do very good at it. So when I retired out of the transportation industry, I retired on a Friday, and then I showed up here running the association on a Monday. So I had a weekend to retire. So I really didn't have an opportunity to get used to it.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, but I can tell you, I've been married to my beautiful wife, Starla, for 43 years, and I've been traveling most of my career. So I'm really looking forward to spending time with her. I have a son and daughter-in-law in Knoxville, Tennessee. I also have a son and daughter-in-law and 2 grandchildren in Parkland, Florida. So I'm looking forward to spending some family time here in my retirement. And I'm here to tell you that we're going to transition the hands of TCA over to a great leader, somebody that's probably going to be a whole lot younger and a whole lot smarter than me that's going to be able to take this to the next level. So I'm looking forward to sitting back on my rocking chair on my front porch and seeing where this great thing goes.
Oh my God. Well, many congratulations to you. And having led the TCA organization for the past, what was it, about 4 years?
Yes, ma'am.
4 years. I mean, wonderful accomplishment. Many of us have come to know and love TCA under the time that you've been president there. And so as we start, talking more about TCA, I want I've seen that there's been really a push for membership. So tell us about why carriers should be members, what some of the benefits of membership are. We've talked about some of the events, but in addition to that, you're there to support carriers and to stand on those 5 pillars. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, having also spent a stint of my life on your side of the fence, on the associate side, I know what it's like to be in that exhibit hall and that exhibit floor and spending the sponsorship dollars. And I'm here to tell you, TCA would not be what it is today without you all. So I can't thank you and our associate members enough, because you're the ones at the end of the day that really allow us to make this special for our motor carrier members. And I know that you want motor carrier members on those exhibit floors,
Absolutely.
seeing your products,
Yes.
attending our webinars, attending our annual meetings, all these special events. And so TCA is very blessed. We're sitting here in a really good financial position. We were able to hold our annual meeting the year during COVID. We didn't miss it like a lot of other people did. And we're really good stewards. We're really good stewards of our members' money. And so what we try to do is we want to be able to try to give back. So if you remember last year at our annual meeting, we made a motor carrier significant reduction in the registration fee.
Yes.
So it's going to come out first in your meeting here with me from a podcast perspective. You're the first to know. But we're going to do the exact same thing for the motor carriers again this year.
Wonderful.
Because we want them there for you. We know you're spending good money to be on that exhibit floor to sponsor these programs, and so we know it's been a very difficult 2 years in a row, and we want them there to be able to, for you to be able to engage and see and have conversations with about your products and services. So we're gonna give them the same registration fee that we did last year this time, and we're also offering a significant reduction in a 1-year TCA membership. We're just saying, hey, look, we think we're really good, and we think we got a lot to offer you through our value proposition. So if we can get you to dip your toe in the water at a reasonable cost, we're giving them, I feel like this is a blue light special, but if you're a motor carrier wanting to join TCA, we're giving you a 75% discount right now to come in prior to the annual meeting. You're going to get all the benefits of a member from a cost perspective, cost reduction, and all to be able to attend the annual meeting, and 1 year to try us out. The next year you revert back to your normal dues, but we just think it's a great opportunity to be able to give some of those people that's been very challenged the last 3.5 years in the marketplace, in the motor carrier industry, to give TCA a feel. And if they do, we're confident that we'll retain them in our system. Something else I want to mention about image.
Sure.
The Highway Angel program that we have, that we recognize those professional drivers on our highway for what I call being knights of the road, things that they do, that they go above and beyond out here and working with and helping the general public in distress, I think is really, really, really important. And I know it gets a lot of attention, but I think it should get a lot more attention, because I think that allows people to see exactly who these professional drivers are and what they do every single day. They don't have to stop and help a damsel in distress, but guess what? By golly, they do.
They do.
And when they do, they're not doing it for the recognition. They're doing it because it's the right thing to do. So being able to honor them and recognize them whenever we get notified about something that they've done, I think is really, really important for the image of this industry.
Wow, I could not agree more. So we got a couple of things hot off the presses. Number one, Jim wants everybody to talk about the TCA Highway Angels program. Carriers can participate in that program, but it really just highlights all of the wonderful things that drivers are doing every single day. And I love the idea that it's about catching someone doing the right thing, right? There's plenty of negative press everywhere you look, but when we highlight the good things that people are doing to just be good humans, I think that is extremely admirable. And of course, that 75% membership discount to incentivize carriers to get there, right? Because again, the networking that happens in those rooms and those conferences and among the membership, because even when they're home and can, log into a webinar and get the information, it is all necessary and timely, especially because of the regulatory landscape we're currently in. People need to stay informed. They need to stay updated with everything that's going on. TCA absolutely makes sure that its members have the benefit of the most up-to-date information, for sure.
The rates previous were tremendous to begin with compared to other organizations. So
yes,
everyone listening, if you're not a member, take a shot at it for that 1 year. I'm telling you, it's well worth it, especially at these discounted rates.
And, we need your support. As you all know, this is a very patriotic industry. Always has been, always will be. Christy and I were at the Reeds Across America dinner on Friday night for those carriers that have brought Reeds at the Arlington Cemetery and was going to be there the next day laying them. As she knows, Pilot and Truckload Carriers Association, we made a challenge coin for those professional drivers. We sponsored the dinner. They come up across the stage. Every professional driver that was there at that dinner that night, we recognized them and gave them a challenge coin, which they loved that. We hauled the vehicle. We hauled the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall all over the country, TCA Carriers, that I think is very patriotic and a great give back for people to be able to see that Veterans Memorial. And also one of the things that we do that Night Swift this year, they pulled the People's Tree into the Capitol. And so we held a whistle stop in Oklahoma City for the Capitol Christmas tree for people to autograph and sign the tree.
Oh, wow.
On its way here. And then finally, last but not least, our members are very generous, and they provide donations, gifts to our TCA Scholarship Fund. And this past year, we were able to give out $165,000 in professional scholarships to individuals that are associated with a motor carrier. So a family member with one of TCA's member companies, grandson, son, family member working for that company was eligible for a scholarship. And this past year was the first year that we also offered some of our scholarships. We're going to start breaking it out as a percentage to 2-year schools versus undergraduate degrees with 4 years. So it's really a nice way to be able to give back to carrier members' families.
Jim, and that is just amazing news, especially when you start giving back. Again, people are always thinking that organizations are out to take. But in reality, they're here to give back to their constituents, to the people who are there supporting them. So that is just tremendous news. I know we're looking forward to what TCA has to offer, especially going forward. You were a great leader. We know we're going to see you around. I know that. I don't think you're going anywhere, like Christy said earlier. Exciting. These are exciting times. They definitely are. Christy, do you have anything to add before we wrap up?
I think this has been so great. We look forward to the annual TCA meetings at 10th Street. I know I kind of pencil it in and make sure that those dates get on the calendar because there can't miss events, right? So even on the associate member side, making sure that those events are like penciled in is like super important. It's a place where we learn, we connect, we grow, and we do it together as an industry moving in the right direction. And so, Jim, I just want to say how impactful TCA has been to me growing professionally. And just thank you again for sharing some time with us today to kind of talk through TCA, its 5 pillars, and some of the wonderful programs and benefits that you all have.
Well, Christy and Rocco, you're two very special people. Thank you very much for having me on today. Starla and I have made a lot of wonderful friends in this industry over my 40-some years in it. And so we're certainly going to miss them, but we're not going to be too far away. And so we certainly do appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate your friendship.
You are so very welcome. It's very valued and very treasured over here. Okay, so we'll have more with Carrier Code Podcast when we return from break.
Carrier Code is sponsored by Driver's Legal Plan, CDL ticket defense for professional drivers. Hey, it's Rocco from Carrier Code. Every professional driver knows how important it is to protect your CDL. A single ticket can put your livelihood at risk, and that's where Driver's Legal Plan comes in. With just a phone call, you can get specialized CDL ticket defense for just $2.98 a week. Don't let a ticket jeopardize your trucking career. Contact Driver's Legal Plan today and let them defend you like they have more than 400,000 other cases. When you need CDL ticket defense, there is only one, Driver's Legal Plan. Call 1-800-580-8789 or visit driverslegalplan.com for your free consultation. Again, that's 1-800-580-8789 or driverslegalplan.com.
Woo-hoo! That was such a good segment talking to Jim. Oh my goodness. It was so great. I love TCA. I really do.
Yeah, TCA is such a great organization, and it's driven by not only the members, but everybody involved with it. And Jim, again, We want to thank you for all your contributions. We know we're going to be seeing you around the shows. Like you said, you're not going to be gone or going too far away from here. So we all appreciate you. I know the industry does as well. So thank you for all you've done over the years.
Yes, and congratulations again on your retirement. This is so wonderful. Such a wonderful thing. Well, I'm super duper excited about all the wonderful things that are happening this year, especially with TCA and other organizations that we know, love, and support. But it's really important that you get plugged in. Now, have you taken advantage of that TCA benefit yet, right? Have you renewed your membership? Have you joined? If you haven't already been a member, let us know. Know the code at carriercodepodcast.com. Yeah, we're nosy. We just want to know. But also, if you have any questions about any of these organizations or associations, we would love to know that as well. Right, Rocco?
Oh, 100%, Christy. Let us know what you guys are all looking for, and we're here for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, we have lots of travel coming up. So if you want to wonder where we are and how you can connect with us, again, email us at knowthecode@carriercodepodcast.com. All right, Rocco. I know we got some packing to do, so we're going to go.
It's going to be busy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, until next time, Carrier Code is sponsored by Drivers Legal Plan, CDL Ticket Defense for Professional Drivers, and produced by Bulldog, Trucking's Podcast Pros. New episodes drop every week, so be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss an episode. You can listen on your favorite podcast platform, watch on YouTube, or visit us anytime at carriercodepodcast.com. You'll also find us on all the social channels at Carrier Code Podcast. Thanks again for joining us, and until next week, I'm Christy.
And I'm Rocco.
And this is Carrier Code.